Hi, I'm Bill Lancaster, and I'll be your host for this video on doing bevel cuts. This is a bowl gouge, and it has a cutting, slicing bevel on the end of it. And we're going to learn how to use that. You've got to do this, or you will not become an accomplished wood turner if you don't learn how to do bevel cuts. I've seen a lot of people do the carbide cuts, and you get a fairly good result with these. Honestly, you can. It may require more sanding, but you can do it. But this is always a scraping cut, and the bevel is always a slicing cut. So you want to learn to do the slicing cuts. Now, just a word about wood grain. If you have a pencil, you always want to sharpen the pencil down grain like that. You never want to do it this way. What happens if you do it that way? You're going to dig in. So you always go down grain. So we're going to go down grain also on our wood. Now on a let me change the camera angle here. On a bow blank, the grain goes this way. That's the way it's cut out of the log. So the grain's going this way. So to go down grain, we're going to cut this way. So I'm going to show you how to do this. This is the bevel. It's got a fingernail grind. The bevel is this part right here, this ground off part. And it's going to cut in the direction of that bevel, like that. So we want to point this tool in the direction it's going to cut, and it's going to be like that. You don't want to just point this thing straight into the wood like this. That's not the way you do it. It's like this. Here's a regular chisel, and you see the bevel on the end. So you don't just stick the chisel straight into the wood. No, you bring it at an angle, and that's the way we're going to do the bow gouge. So I'm going to show you how to do this, and because we're going to do this down grain and on the bevel, we're going to come in like this. Now this is very aggressive. If you have this flute wide open, this is not aggressive. This is very unaggressive. We're going to open it a little bit like that to do this cut. I'm going to put on my face shield, and we're going to run this lathe. That's running at about 900. So you see we got this flute pointing into the wood, and we're going to go like this. That is a bevel cut. And you see how smooth it is. You could probably start sanding that at 220 or so. It's really very smooth. Now, to do the side of a bowl, if you go straight up the tool rest like this, you're going to get a flower pot shape. That's what we call it, because it's going to have straight sides like this. But in order to do the bowl shape, we're going to start in, and then we're going to be gradually swing so that the bevel starts cutting like this around and makes a curved shape. I will show you. Just going to move the tool rest in a little closer. Now that's got it started. Here we go. I'm gradually swinging. Some people are just bound to make the whole side of this bowl round before they start, but just it becomes round as you do this. So you don't really need to do that. This is rosewood. You'll see these highlights of color in it. I've this is a tenon. I put a tenon in the top of the bowl and in the bottom, and this is the bottom that we're doing now. Move the tool rest in a little closer. You want the height of the tool rest to be such that the tool hits on the center line or just above it. What you want to learn to do is go from the bottom to the top without moving your feet. If you move your feet, you get a little mark like I've got here, which because I moved my feet. Now, the way you do that is you position yourself for the end of the cut, then you reach back and you start it. I'm going to do a thin cut to try to get this thing to be nice and smooth. I've still got a little hump in it I can see right there. I'll try to pick this up and take it out. Nope, I got to start a whole new cut. The last little bit, I'm going to just tap it backwards. Like that. Take it out. Now that's a pretty good cut. The wood itself has some pockets in it, so that's causing the bevel cut not to get as smooth as it should be. But I can start sanding that with I'm going to start with 80 actually grit and go to 400 to make that smooth, and then I'm going to put some flutes in the side of this with a fluting tool, a Paul Howard fluting tool. Now I've got a little hump here I don't like. I'm going to take that out with a different kind of cut. It's called well, I forgot what you call it. Sort of a scraping, polishing cut. You see the flutes down. I'm just using the right side of this thing. The handle's way low. Well, I don't know what I'm doing there. I'm going to use a negative rake scraper on it. Now, I've just been talking about not using a scraper, but this negative rake, if you'll sharpen this is 70 degrees and 20 degrees. Sharpen the 70 degree part last, and it will make a little burr, and that burr becomes a slicing tool. So it'll slice, but you got to get it polished correctly or sharpened correctly to do that. Just want to take that hump out. Not too bad. Okay. Well, you see how you do the bevel cut. You started out here. I came up and I swung with it, like not only cutting but swinging to get the curved shape in the side of it. So that's how you do it. So I hope that's helpful to you, and remember, you've got to learn to do bevel cuts, or you will never become an accomplished turner. So give it a try. Bye.